The Miami Dolphins are in the playoffs. Who cares if they only kicked 3 field goals to get there?
Down the middle with distance!
Who cares if they stumbled into the dance looking like Spalding at the country club gala? They are on the road in Buffalo, meaning round 3 between these two. The Bills riding an emotional wave into the playoffs like no other.
And here's Hines on the run back and taking it past midfield and down the sideline he goes. This is storybook.
Great to see how the story of number 3 turned out.
Hey, y'all know what we on. We hit, we strap, and we duck.
Meanwhile, this is the rubber match between these two. Dolphins beat the Bills 21-19 in Week 3 in a defensive nail-biter game.
2-1, and they get it done. It's over.
Then the Bills beat the Dolphins in a shootout-type game in Week 15, 32-29. Still went down to the wire.
Is good. The hold is good. The kick is up. The kick is good. Bills win it 32-29. Amazing. Amazing.
Unfortunately, this Part 3 is going the route of Home Alone or the original Batman. The headline to this preview, Tua is out. Tagovailoa's concussion issues won't allow him to make it back. Starting in his place, the guy behind the guy, Skylar Thompson. He at least can say he won his last start. 20 of 31, no picks.
Skylar Thompson scrambles and throws, and Jalen Waddle's on the other end of it for a first down.
No TDs either, 152 yards, 4.9 yards per attempt, didn't lead a single TD drive. He's had relevant playing time in 4 games this year, 62.2 rating, touchdown against 3 INTs.
Deflected by Mosley and incomplete.
Cheetah and the Penguins stuck in their cages for the most part, with Skylar leading things last week. Of course, Thompson's last start came against the staunch Jets defense. Hill and Waddle had elite corners on them. They were up against one of the toughest secondaries on wideouts. Buffalo did not defend the position nearly as well as New York did in 2022.
Over the middle, wide open at the 40-yard line is Jalen Waddle, leaving the Bills in the dust.
Of the 3 pass-catching types, that's the position they were most generous to. They've allowed a rating over 91 to wide receivers. That's not terrible, but it's not good either.
Tua looking deep. Waddle is there. He's got it.
On some level, Miami's hopes on offense hinge on whether Waddle and Hill can make Thompson look good. You can't rule it out. They're the best wide receiver duo in the game. Waddle 100-plus yards in each game versus Buffalo, 1,300-plus yards for the year, 8 Waddles.
And it's a touchdown for Waddle. Gone.
Right down the middle, and nobody was going to catch him.
The Cheetah scored on Buffalo in their most recent meeting, and in the end, Tyreek running up that hill for 1,710 yards this season, ran up that road for 119 receptions. So what, he ran up the building for 7 TDs? That's a stretch, and it's a weird direction for that song to go.
Boy, hey, I'm close. I'm close.
Miami could very well try and pull the keep the other team off the field with lots of long drives driven by the run game. Buffalo's run defense is their weakness, so to speak. They've given up 4.4 yards per carry to running backs.
Nice run. It's Davidson.
They gave up 136 yards on 17 carries to Miami's Raheem Mostert in that last game. He probably isn't playing either, though, so it will be up to Jeff Wilson, a burner who's hitting at 4.7 a carry.
It is a run for Jeff Wilson. Got a good block from Robert Hunt.
Wilson went for over 4.5 a carry last week, and he was facing a tough Jets D. With all that said, though, 11 points probably doesn't do it this week. Jets and Bills O-faces aren't anything alike, and Miami has seen both. Josh Allen in their Week 15 triumph, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, a rating just under 120.
On the run, throwing for the end zone, it is caught! Quentin Morris!
And his elbow that had given him trouble for a while sure looked good last week, threw 3 TDs versus New England's upper-tier pass defense, 49-yard dot. There's your elbow for you.
And there it is, bingo! Diggs with the touchdown for long distance.
Dolphins corners, top priority, Stephon Diggs. His season, 108 catches, over 1,400 yards, 11 scores.
Man to man, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. Tell him leave me one-on-one. Leave me one-on-one. I'm gonna make you call your mama home.
Dolphins at least held Diggs in check in their 2 face-offs, Miami playing the wideout position well this season, holding them to an 86.6 rating, and Xavier Howard, who had struggled, is playing better down the stretch.
The one-on-one, Garrett Wilson headed it first, but then it's knocked out. Xavier Howard with the coverage on Garrett Wilson.
Gabe Davis will be testing Miami deep on the other side, 800-plus yards this year, 7 TDs, but the guy who may be especially important to Allen this week, Dawson Knox, Miami. 10 touchdowns allowed to tight ends, 0 INTs, rating allowed to the position over 125. Knox knows the last time he played him, 6 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown.
Takes the snap, fires into the end zone, it is caught. Dawson Knox, touchdown, Buffalo!
How will Allen handle the Dolphins sending the house? They have one of the highest blitz rates in the NFL.
Blitz coming, they got him! The ball's out! Touchdown, Miami!
Allen has been okay enough versus the blitz as a passer, but he's even more dangerous against it as a runner. He's racked up over 700 yards on the ground this year, 10 attempts, 77 yards versus the Dolphins in Week 15. His legs played a big role in them staying close to Miami in Week 3 and beating them in Week 15. He's part of the reason the Aqua has allowed the 4th highest yards per carry average to quarterbacks.
Allen with room to run. Allen headed for the sideline. Josh Allen chugging down the sideline.
Both these teams' run games ride in the backseat most games, but they can both factor if the other defense is having trouble on the back end. Dolphins are better equipped to handle Buffalo's backs. They finished the year holding them to 3.7 a run, 3rd best.
So you've got a safety blitz coming off the edge, and you got a guy that gets beat quick right at the point of attack.
Bills will hit them with Devin Singletary. He's a 4.6 guy. James Cook, 5.7 per run.
Over the right side has first down yardage and more. Inside the 5, touchdown, Bill.
Bills' special teams showed how they can impact a game. Nyheim Hines took 2 kickoffs to the house last week, and if it's close and they need to call on Seabass, Tyler has been pretty money for them all year. Jason Sanders got Miami here. He hit all 3 of his field goals last week, 1 from 50, so they trust him plenty too.
Great stuff. It's all the mechanics, right? Snap, hold, everything perfect there.
That's enough for me. You all continue the convo in the convo section. Make sure you leave a prediction. We won't forget either.